there, welcome to DollMotion. Today I teamed up with my fellow doll artist and friend Doll's brand new look to give you a special Final Fantasy two-part repaint video. We chose to make the famous Final Fantasy duo Cloud and Sephiroth. As you can see at my thumbnail, I chose Cloud Strife. So, let's begin. Before I start, I have to point out there are more versions of Cloud. You have the original Final Fantasy VII Soldier version, the Kingdom Hearts 1 version, and the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children version. Although I played all the games and watched the movie, I really like the Kingdom Hearts version. All those details, the red cape and he has a wing! Okay, I really need to make this doll. For this repaint, I'll be using my last Jackson Jekyll doll. Hey, maybe I'll find more in the future. First, I'm going to take off his eyebrow piercing. What leaves me with 2 holes. Yeah, I have to deal with that later. Then I cut off his hair as close to his head as possible. Great! To get to his remaining hairs, I first need to remove his head from his body. To do this safely, I first let the head soak in hot water for a while. This makes it so much easier to remove the head without breaking the pack. Now I can remove the remaining hairs from the inside with tweezers. Now I remove the factory painted face with acetone. I also removed the tattoo on his back. Of course, like many other dolls, this doll has a gap in his head. This can easily be fixed by sewing it shut. To cover the eyebrow piercing holes, I cover it with Elmer's glue. I then put his head back on his body. Because he's going to have yellow spiky hair, I already painted his scalp yellow with acrylic paint. After spray and mist is super clear, I start sketching in his face with a light colored pencil. I really wanted Cloud to have sharp anime eyes. Actually, something I never have drawn on the doll before. Okay, time for acrylic paint. First, I start filling in his eye whites. After that, his iris, which I painted in with a dark blue. It wasn't really clear to me if Cloud had blue or green eyes, because it really changed in every media. So I just stick to the Kingdom Hearts version and gave him blue eyes. To give the iris some more depth, I fill it in with lighter colors of blue. When the iris was dry, I gave it pupils. This is my favorite part. Darken some parts in the eyes with pastel powders. This gives it so much more depth and expression to a doll. And now for the question of the day. Would you ever use a Reboot Monster High body? I do prefer the Ever After High doll bodies over the Monster High bodies. I also own some Reboot Monster High dolls, who have a similar body to Ever After High bodies. So yes, I will definitely use a Reboot body one day. Do you have a question for me? Leave in the comment section, and maybe I will answer it in the next repaint video. Back to the repaint. Some last corrections to his lip, and some blush, and the face-up's all done. To seal in the face, I sprayed it a few times with Mr. Super Clear. Okay, let's make his hair. Just like Blue's hair, I'm going to make his hair out of acrylic yarn. Like I said in Blue's video, if you're going to make an anime character, or a character with spiky hair, definitely go for yarn. When the webs are all done, I glue them on the head with fabric glue. I go in a spiral to the top. For the last spot, I glue one loose weft. I leave it to fully dry for 1 day. Switching to a better background, I start cutting the hair in the back, leaving it long in the front. Time to wax it. Yeah, spiky hair doesn't come so naturally. To keep the hair in place, I glue them in place with fabric glue. And here we have spiky hair Cloud. Let's work on his outfit. His trousers and shirt were easy. I just traced the doll, cut it out and sewed the pieces together. In his shirt I made a hole for his future ring. So let's also make a hole in his back with a lino cutter. The wing itself I made out of wire and craft foam. This keeps it lightweight. I glue the pieces together. I fill it in with 3D paint to get a raised look. I dry brush some parts for some detail. Okay, now it's time to make his armor. This I'm going to make out of epoxy clay. I give one hand a more glove-like texture and the other hand claw-like fingers, just like the artwork. His arms are also getting some detail, like gloves and cool bracelets. To make his hip blade, I first cover his hip with tape. Not really sure how a hip blade would work. Doesn't he cut himself if he jumps? Yeah, I'm probably overthinking this. As you can see, I also do this for his shoulder armor. His shoes are also getting some detail. And I also made some parts for his sword. Speaking of the Buster sword, I made it out of craft foam by stacking some pieces on top of each other. When the clay armor is dry, I first gave it some battle damage. And after that, I painted everything black or dark brown. This gives it a good base for metallic ink. By dry brushing it, it really gives it a realistic look. His Buster sword I cut on an angle to give it his signature look. I also dry brush it with metallic ink. When everything is dry, I glue the pieces together. The Kingdom Hearts version of his sword has bandage on it. So, to mimic this, I use bandage tape. Out of fake leather, I cut long strokes. These are going to be his many belts. Yeah, the fashion in Final Fantasy can be quite weird. Because for some reason, Cloud needs 10 belts. I painted on detail with paint. For his cape, I'm using remaining fabric from Krampus's outfit. I cut the ends to get a distressed look and attach the cape with a snap. Now his wing can finally go on. To attach it, I use a 2-part epoxy glue. Oh, it's posable, so cool! Some shine in his eyes with a high gloss varnish and it's done. Well, almost. I really didn't like the painted details on his belts. It made all the work I put in the armor look so amateur. So I made some last touches of epoxy clay and painted it. And now he's really done. Well, that was it for our spiky-haired mercenary. I really liked how he turned out. I'm especially proud on his armor and hair. But hey, we got one more Final Fantasy RePaint video for you. Go to Doll's brand new Look's channel to see the RePaint on Sephiroth. You need to complete the duo. The link is in my description box. And like always, like if you liked it and sub if you loved it. See you in the next video. Bye!